Hey, what's up, guys? Fernando here. Just wanted to come back here and do a tier list for the first time. And I'm doing this tier list on the new 21 Pilots record. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of this band. You know, Josh Dunn inspired me to be a drummer, and I've done a few covers of these guys' songs. Now, what's so interesting to me about this album is that I was like initially a little bit let down with it just because it didn't exactly exceed my expectations. You know, like one of the singles was my favorite song, and none of the new songs like exactly topped the single. Whereas with Scaled and Icy, the singles weren't as good as I expected, but because I had my expectations lowered, then some of the new songs did surpass the singles. But I overall think this is a way better album than Scaled and Icy. But, you know, like, definitely given this album many listens for a while now, this album has for sure grown on me. And I got to see the guys live last week, so they could play quite a lot of these new songs. They only left out two of them. So, yeah, you know, think this is going to be a really fun tier list to make. You know, a lot of TOP fans might see this video, and, you know, you guys are from the clique are welcome to comment below your ranking, and then you're completely welcome to disagree, because, you know, I think I myself have some hot takes on this. And then one more thing before I move on, I want to give a shout out to my best friend NoCapKong for helping me out with this video. So enough talk, we're gonna get started now. Overcompensate is the first track, and this was the single that became my favorite. Like, it is no question an S tier song for me. Really love the drums on this one, so I've been learning the song on the drums, so stay tuned for a potential drum cover of this song. With this one being my favorite, you know, I just love the sound of it. I love the reintroduction to the Dima storyline with introducing Clancy as well. And you know, seeing this live, like, and they kicked off the show with this song, that was probably, like, the most hype I have been in a while. So, yeah, really love this song. It's an absolute banger. And no question, it is an S tier one. Now, moving on to the second single and track of the album, Next Semester. I think it's a great song, and it was really fun to see live. I really like the message with, you know, just bouncing back after you've made mistakes. You can't change what you've done, just start fresh again. And then they're using a semester school system as a metaphor to parallel with that. And, you know, I really like it. The reason that this isn't an S tier, it's simply because, it didn't exactly blow me away. Like, it's not exactly, I'd say it's one of my favorites, but it's not exactly up there with my absolute favorites. But, you know, still a song I respect massively, and it's a fun one. The next song, it was the third single for this album, and this is Backslide. Now, I initially thought that this was like a pretty big step down from both of these singles, and, you know, it just wasn't my favorite, but my goodness, it's definitely grown on me for sure. And I'm gonna put this in the B tier. So, yeah, I just thought that it didn't, like, it sounded like a weaker cut. I thought, like, the chorus was a bit too much with all those layered vocaling, but now, like, I enjoy singing that chorus, and, like, I was, like, shouting that chorus when I saw this song live. And then I also really appreciate the message with how relatable it is with not wanting to relapse on an addiction that you've been, like, on a long streak of avoiding. You know, like, backsliding is no fun. It's a song I relate to, I respect massively, and, you know, it's grown on me quite a bit. Now, we're about to get into the songs that were released all together after the singles. And starting with Midwest Indigo, I really like this song too. It's one of my favorites. You know, the music video's really pretty, and I think the sound of this one is also really pretty. especially when the bass comes in and then Tyler's faded out chorus starts. And, I also like the message or the lyricism behind this, with taking the weather, the really cold weather in the Midwest, and then like meeting up with your friends as like a parallel to the mental health of like having like really cold and sad moments to go through, and like the pressure of being on time with everything going on in your mind. Really love this one. It's really pretty, and I remember sitting at the concert. I hadn't looked at the set list yet, and I was getting worried that they weren't going to play it, but they did towards the encore, which made me happy. Moving on to the next song, Routines in the Night, and I'm not going to lie, this might be like the most like perfect song on this album. I think like the sound of it is really nice. Love the chorus, and that pre-chorus is really pretty. And of course, like this song is also very relatable, with dealing with nighttime battles, like just constantly getting wrapped up in your thoughts as opposed to relaxing and going to sleep when it's nighttime. And yeah, it's like just both relatable, sounds really good, and super happy that they played this one live. And I'm definitely happy that Josh Dunn convinced Tyler Joseph to keep this one on the album, because it almost didn't make the album. And this has similar topics to what was going on in Vestal, and that, by the way, is my favorite 21 Pilots album. And like, kind of going back to Midwest Indigo, I think it sounds like a Vestal song, so that could explain a lot for why I love the sound of that song. But yeah, Routines in the Night, it's like Overcompensate is my favorite, but Routines in the Night is a very close second. Now moving on, we got Vignette, and I really like this one. It's kind of like not in the S tier for similar reasons as Next Semester. It's simply just not like up there with my absolute favorites, but still really love this song. I think the chorus sounds super nice, like one of the best choruses on this album. And I like what he's saying about like just finding a bunch of excuses for this addiction cycle. And yeah, I think the music video is also pretty good too, with literally creating in the ice a portrait of Josh. Like, all the music videos here are sick. Now we got The Craving, and I'm not gonna lie, this one I'm not that impressed with. One of the high expectations I had was thinking that Jenna would have a verse on this song, but she didn't. And my mind kind of like would listen to the single version, which isn't on this tier list. I'd probably put that in B, just because it's a bit more like upbeat. But my heart does also give the slight edge to this version, because it's very sentimental. Covers like a quite the topic of like Tyler questioning if he's doing enough for his wife. And like what also made this song special, seeing it live, was I was at the Seattle show, and Tyler literally announced that someone at the front row just got engaged. So congratulations to those folks if they happen to be watching. And yeah, it's like, yeah, I can definitely see the value of it, but it's also pretty forgettable, honestly. Yeah, but not terrible at all. Again. And now moving on, we have Lavish, and honestly, this is kind of like a guilty pleasure song for me, because I mean, yeah, it's kind of a silly song, doesn't really have much to do with mental health, and like I think it does cover like a pretty fun topic of like poking fun at the celebrities that cover up all of their flaws with all of this fashion. And then like I know that like the second verse can be really weird, especially with that like last line in there. Like the clique knows exactly what I'm talking about. It just doesn't sound like anything they would say. But all that being said, I really love the sound of this song, especially when those strings come in the later half of the chorus. It just sounds beautiful. The title of this song was one that I was curious about, and I knew it was going to be a good song, but it was good, just not in the way I expected, you know? I was also thinking that I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't play this song, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did either. And, you know, when they did, I was still like, no way. So, yeah, it's definitely a song that I love, but you know, I'll admit it is kind of in like a guilty pleasure way. Next up, we have Navigating, and this is another song that grew on me so much. I never thought it was bad, just didn't think the verses stood out as much, and the way that they say navigating in the song, it sounded a bit awkward, but after so many listens and thinking that the chorus like still sounded good outside of that, I kind of mess with that melody. So when they played it live, it was also pretty hype. You know, like it's an absolute banger. And, you know, like, of course, the first time hearing it, I was so focused on like the lore that was going on in the music video. But yeah, like Tyler navigating his own head, you know, as simple as that sounds, like I still really rock with this song. And the meaning behind it. Alright, so now we're gonna get into where I feel like the album falls off a little bit. We got Snapback next. And, you know, I'll put it in C because I really love the lyrics behind this song about like you can't get discouraged if you relapse after a good streak of avoiding an addiction. If you're gonna like break this addiction, you gotta bounce back after backsliding. Like you gotta snap back. So and you know, Tyler himself said that this is a track that he's gonna be defensive about, and in that respect, I can totally understand why. Now, I just think this is a really, like, one of the weaker sounding cuts. The inflection on Tyler's voice is pretty weird. And yeah, the music video was weird, but I'm guessing that Tyler shaving his head is like symbolism for like breaking a streak, like after a long time of avoiding something. But yeah, you know, a song that I can respect. But yeah, it's definitely not my favorite. Next up, we got Oldie Station, and you know, I don't think this is a bad song at all either. I just at first thought that it sounded kind of dull, but you know, I really love how this is an encouragement to people with anxiety and depression to just keep on pushing through. And then seeing this song live, you know, made me appreciate it a lot more. You know, unlike Snapback, which you know, didn't make the set list. But yeah, Oldie Station is like one that I appreciate more than I did. And you know, it's a nice, sweet little cute song. Next up, we have probably my hottest take yet, At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. I gotta say, I don't really like this song as much as a lot of people in the clique do. Now, I perfectly understand why people love this song. Like, I don't want to ignore the message in this. Like, this is a suicide prevention, like anti-suicide song, encouraging everybody to check in on their friends, even if their friends do push them away, and even if you are at the risk of feeling dumb because of that. So, you know, I really love the message, but Tyler's vocal inflection on the song is just, I just don't think that I just feel like it's not it. Like it's kind of annoyingly high, and then it just makes the song sound repetitive with that. But you know, I don't think the song overall like sounds terrible. And you know, like it also didn't make the set list, so I felt like I would have gotten more convinced if I were to have seen it live. But yeah, that wasn't the case. And I know, yeah, fans were sad that it didn't make the set list, but I personally wasn't too sad about that. But you know, still a song I massively respect, and you know, like with how powerful that message is, I think I will say that it is the best one in the C tier. But yeah, like I just think it's a tad overhyped. And now we're down to the very last song, which is Paladin Straits. And I really like this one. The thing that is kind of stopping me from putting it in S tier is that long minute of silence with birds chirping. And I understand that this was probably to give the hardcore fans, including myself, like a whole lot of suspense, but I think it would be very questionable to a casual listener. And with that minute of silence, I thought that there was going to be like a super epic part of the music video happening during that moment, but they literally cut that part out for the music video, so I see the point even less now. They did even keep this in like during the live performance, but yeah, it's still overall like a good song outside of that. I expected it to have like so many different switch ups, but didn't really have that many. Like the key to the song kind of like stayed consistent, but I also appreciate it for being very lore heavy with Paladin Strait being part of the continent of Trench and saying that he would swim the whole thing just to confront Blurryface and like his demons. Like obviously I haven't spoken enough about the lore, but yeah, it's like it all like boils down to mental health. And yeah, like it's a song I can respect massively, and Josh's drum solo when they played it live was super dope. But yeah, like overall, this album, it's grown on me quite a bit, but still no Trench or Vessel. But yeah, like still one that like I enjoy, and I can say it's definitely like one of, if not my favorite albums of the year. It's quite a fun listen. I appreciate the variety and having each song on the album just keep me on my toes. And yeah, this is my tier list. So comment down below your ranking if you'd like. And again, stay tuned for a drum cover of Overcompensate. I honestly don't know when that's going to come, but hopefully sooner rather than later. And yeah, again, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks to NoCapKong for helping me out with this. And yeah,